Sometimes it seems like modern video production requires camera movement. It can add drama and emotion to a boring shot. And for some styles of production, for example, when doing product demonstrations, camera movement can really be mandatory. And with that said, my name is Eric Franks, and I'd like to introduce you to Digital Juice's Orbit Dolly. Let's start by setting it up. Notice that the Orbit Dolly is fairly compact when collapsed, which makes it pretty convenient for travel. All I need to do is swing out these arms here and screw these bolts back into place. And we're basically done. There are 3 modes for the Dolly. This is the normal mode. There's a little bit wider mode and a tabletop mode that we'll look to in just a minute. Okay, let's add our tripod here to the rig. The legs fit right into these 3 cups here. I am also going to recommend securing your tripod to the Orbit Dolly with any old bungee cords you have lying around. Like that's not bad. Let's add our camera. And we're ready to roll. The Orbit Dolly really couldn't be much easier to use, but you are going to need to learn how it works initially, and that's where this handy dandy little booklet comes into play, the Orbit Dolly User's Guide. In the rear of this document, you will find a couple of tables of wheel angles and corresponding orbit radii, and that will help you out greatly initially, but honestly, you don't even need it. There's only one rule you need to know, and that is that the left and right wheels need to match. You'll notice that each leg is labeled center, left, and right. Because of the trilateral symmetry, it technically doesn't matter which is which, but it's easier if you pay attention to the labels. Each wheel has a dial on it that runs from 0 to 90 to 0. If we set the center to 0, left to 0, and right to 0, the Orbit Dolly acts like, well, a traditional dolly for dolly and tracking shots. But that's not the best part of the Orbit Dolly, which is the orbit bit. If you go left, gray, 15 degrees, you need to go right, gray, 15 degrees. And this is the little move you get. Set left to black 15 degrees, then right to black 15 degrees, and you get this cool little move. Simple. Higher degrees mean sharper angles and smaller circles. Lower degrees mean larger angles and wider arcs, with 0 degrees being a circle with an infinite radius, otherwise known as a straight line. Oh, and I almost forgot, the Orbit Dolly is incredibly strong and is by far and away the most fun Digital Juice product I've ever sat on in a product demo. The Digital Juice Orbit Dolly. Rugged, strong, easy to set up, versatile, and fun to use. Spice up a product shot, add power and drama, dolly, track, arc, and orbit.